I've got to say, I'm actually really excited to share with you what's in my Calm Kit. So this is the Calm Kit that's in my office, in my therapy clinic for children and young people. And I've used it on based on neuroscience. I've developed a Calm Kit using the 5 senses, because what we know about the brain, so remember that hand model of the brain, what gets that lid on is a part called the reticular activating system, or the RAS. And it's like a trapdoor to the brain. And it sorts the sensory information. So when we sort the 5 senses, it just pulls it on. And parents and mums particularly have known this forever, is we've had little kids, and when they're babies we say, oh, look over there, or listen to that plane, and we see they immediately regulate. So we've known that. The way I remember that, Raz, is because it's a bit like a sieve, and I've taught this to children and young people by getting a sieve, getting glitter and flour and lots of sensory information and sorting it through. So that's how I remember it. So my Calm Kit is based on the 5 senses. So I've got my kit in a awesome box. Now I suggest to children finding something that it releases serotonin and happiness hormones when you see it for your box. So some kids have come in and bought their boxes for me, and they're covered in unicorn wrapping paper or sparkles or glitter, and it's so exciting for them. I've chosen this one because Lego, am I right? It's awesome. But also because, I mean, as you can see, I've got it so chock full, he's actually starting to flip his lid. So I went, this is such a great idea, because this is my Calm Kit for when I flip my lid. Okay, so when I stop using that prefrontal cortex and instead using that amygdala, the fight, flight or freeze, and I go into my Calm Kit and get my lid on. So ta-da! As you can see, it's chocker block. The first one I have is a touch one. So this is actually a Squishmallow. You cannot see and understand how amazing this one feels, but these Squishmallows are the softest, most calming things. I've had kids just kind of flip their lid almost about how calming it is, and they'll put it on their face and they'll put it on their head. It's a really soft, beautiful feel, and kids love that one. I feel like I'm just going to keep it under my arm for a little bit because I really don't want to stop touching it. Another touch one, and all of my kind of Calm Kit strategies come from, or tools, come from really cheap places. So I love to just be sending families to the dollar stores or Kmart or Big W. This one is called a Flippy, I believe, but it's also a wristband, so you kind of slap it on. It gives quite a good sensory experience. It's really nice and tight. And then you've also got some touch by flipping and flipping the sequins, but also some eyes, so that's really quite calming for the eyes, that glittery. I'm also not letting go of that one because it's so calming. Actually, I will have to let it go because I'm going to demonstrate another one that is ridiculously calming. This one here, I think they're called springs or something, magic springs. I don't really know, but they're often at cheap stores, Kmart, or even the news agencies. You push it down like this. It's a bit tricky, so it's an exercise in getting a lid on already, but it comes with good success. So it makes the rings like this. Putting my Squishmallow down too. Putting it on my hand like this, and then it kind of rolls up and down. Ooh, gets a bit stuck sometimes, but it's actually really calming on the skin for a lot of people. I really like it. I could just, you know, and again, it's a bit mesmerizing for the eyes as well, which can be really calming. So $7 that one. It's probably my more expensive Calm Kit tool, although this one was about $15. The rest tend to be about $3. Oh, not true. There's a pin-up one from Smiggle, another touch one, but also a tool for the ears. So some kids really like that white noise kind of sound. And some children really like the visual of looking at body parts or objects or things through of what the pin art looks like. So that can be a really calming one, but it's quite a deep pressure, prickly feeling on the hands. So we've had a few look, listen, eyes. Another one for smell is, I really think it's great to have something that's really nice and simple, maybe some essential oils. This one's really calming for me. I'm just going to have a little smell now. Yeah, and a point I always say about oils or smells is often people are told, oh, this one's really alerting or this one's really calming. Well, that might be the case for neurotypical kids, but for neurodiverse kids whose brains have developed a bit differently, you might need to play around and find what's calming for them. So that's a smell one. This one's a touch and smell. You can find a lot of these sort of toys now. I really think manufacturers have gotten onto this idea that kids want really multi-sensory experience for calming. So this one's a Pick Me Pop. You open it up and it's a ridiculously soft, donut-shaped looking creature, but it also smells. They've got some really great range of smells there for some kids who really want that big sensory experience. Some kids do not, but that one can be good. I have another touch and movement one is a massager. This one's just come from the chemist. You turn it on. Some kids love the small sensory experience of just holding that, maybe giving mum a massage or dad a massage. Some kids I've seen, they put it on their head, on their eye, you know, right on their face. They get such a huge sensory response. Some kids really like the sound of that one with just the background sound, or I'm going to put it on the ground to help you hear. It's really quite loud. So some kids have just turned that on for a whole therapy session and had it in the background, and I can just see them regulating. It's really interesting to see. I have missed one thing that I love to put in there, and that's an oral motor one. So taste can be tricky to think about. So some of us get a little bit hangry and angry, and we need a little snack in there, and that's okay. So sometimes having a little healthy snack that's non-perishable, like crackers or something that you can have in there, that can be useful. But what I like to suggest is things like gum. I find a lot of children find it really regulating, particularly those kids who need a lot of sensory input. So maybe they're the kids who like to crunch on ice or suck on lemon to get regulated, so gum can be a good one. And my dentist tells me sugar-free gum, actually good for their teeth, okay? So if they're not going to be the sort of kid who leaves it around the house or in their hair, it could be one to pop in there. Another suggestion can be just music, so having a little iPod or old iPhone in there that you can always have some music available. So then we've got all the senses, I think, right? So now, when I'm done, you pack away your calm kit, right? And your lid is on.